It couldn't be your fault. When this life of mine will fall, it will always be my call. Tryna throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we? It's warm outside, and we all want shine. Bet you nobody in the city could stay in the crib this time. Whoa, got pics on the way like a vacay. Shoot photo with the AK. Got friends by my side, tryna have a great day. Then I wonder why they throw shades. Yeah, but it's all on me. Let them roam free like a European. Yeah, see me pick up the phone like I'm tryna holler home, starting to act like E.T. Yeah, rock them shades, now they can't see me. Tryna run away, but I'm not speedy. Need no fake, I just want what's real, and I ride that way till I'm free. Yeah. Throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. No rage. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we? What age? Tryna throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we? First of all, it couldn't be your fault. When this life of mine will fall, it will always be my call. Yeah, and the worst of all, when this life of mine will fall, you'll try to right my wrongs when we both know it's too hard. Yeah. You on my mind, you trapped inside. You can't get out, hidden like you classified. Come get a new grip, maybe even try a new whip. Yeah, the rain's gonna fall on the ridge. Yeah, but we gonna have a roof by then. Tryna throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we? Tryna throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Don't bring it. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we? Hate on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Don't bring that rage. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we?
You used to touch, I used to dream. We used to say, you're the prettiest I've ever seen. So long ago, before it all went down in flames, we were harder than it wouldn't be. How could we know that it was so wrong? We've been out of love, yeah, for so long. Yeah, how could we know when it was all done? Yeah, now here we are, and we are long gone. Live fast and die young. Tell me, do you wanna rewind for a
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the OB62 Patch Note Show. It's Black Magic. Of course, you might know me as Rainy, but that's my other cousin. I'm really the one who steals the show here. I'm the host for today. And of course, in this spooky patch, we've got a spooky-looking dude right here.
I wouldn't use that adjective.
Well,
I think there's a whole plethora of adjectives you could have gone with.
There's a myriad of choices I could have used that were probably more appropriate.
I didn't realize we're doing accents. I came unprepared.
You've got to commit. Got it. Of course, we see Gerd Jairez Martini and, of course, Thomas Holt looking... well, like Thomas Holt.
Yeah, I kind of missed a
but
memo,
I think more that he's back. We got our boy back.
See, I was told to do costumes, so this is what I did. I fully committed.
We go above and beyond.
It's the length of commitment. I think just
What's
went
a skin
from there
without
to
a
here.
voice pack? You know, the voice
true.
pack is the best part.
If you're just me like this, I just look like a goofball. But if I'm talking like I like to talk right now, Black Magic, hey, all right,
You're really the only one that can do it safely.
hey. That's right.
I'm gonna stay away from that.
It gets slightly racist when other people do it, but it's okay. I keep it real. I keep it real. This is from a tribe. This has nothing to do with
Sure
We're in the realm. There are no races. I'm Stagala, half Stagala. Didn't know that? Okay, let's move it on. We've got other things happening here. Patch Note Show, OB62, guys. It's going to be amazing. My name's Ray Dave, of course, and Jairez pretty here. Jairez Martini, Jairez Holt, going for you, art director and lead designer of the game, as well as us goons over here on the esports side of things. We've got a great show, a lot of content. Of course, everyone's been spoiled to death about all the things coming through, but let's start out with some real content.
I did nothing this time.
Oh,
There's
come on,
no
Thomas.
spoiling.
You've done enough spoiling for a lifetime.
I don't believe that.
I did practically nothing this time.
But the art team's done a lot, and I'm really excited about this first thing we have to show you guys. We have some new sprays coming into the game, and they are unlike any sprays that have ever been introduced in Paladins. Why don't you guys talk about these, because I'm blown away.
That's true. So this is something that I've worked with Alyssa and the community team on. I'm really, really excited for this. One thing you'll notice on here is we are actually calling out the artist, and that's because this is the first, hopefully in a long line, of us being able to kind of pull from the community. You've seen their fan art. You've seen a lot of the art going out. We've got a great community. We got a great art community as well.
Yeah.
And we kind of want to get that in the game. So what we have here is the first 5 sprays that you can check out here in the map.
Wow.
Yep. So you got that cute chibi style, amazing work. It was great working with them, and yeah. So hopefully we'll get it some more in some future patches. But it's great to kind of again kind of bring the community in the game a little bit.
This is yeah.
Can we just talk about the coordination that Kret is having right now?
No.
I mean, this is pretty ridiculous, man. And he's going to bow down. Absolutely, my friend. We see you too. Unbelievable stuff. So where can we find these when people want to grab these? Where are these going to be available for purchase?
So these are in the flare chest, and as I mentioned, obviously where they came from is a big separation. But these are also our first decal kind of sticker style kind of sprays and stuff. So really special. Really they're attached to the Champions UC. So if you want the Torvald one, you can get it with Torvald and stuff. But you can find these in the flare chest this patch.
Oh, so I can't use the Sky. I can't be Sky and use the Torvald one.
You gotta play your girl.
And so I've also got to wait for if I have a favorite champion.
Real fans.
Oh, okay. So and I like that. I'm a real fan of some of those, so I'll have to definitely check those out. So those are coming through as well, and we've also got another great skin coming through for one of the sprays that you saw there. One of those champions getting her own skin this patch. Yep. It is Red Winter Tyra coming through for you guys, and looking ferocious and
bear.
Those shorts do not look appropriate for the climate.
Is she warm enough?
Is
she warm enough?
Definitely.
There's some fur
That's what the
lining.
bear's for.
Yeah,
Wait,
this
is that the same bear?
Hashtag
that's on
Oscar.
Her
Leonardo.
normal. That's grim.
Yeah.
That's
You're not
wild.
supposed to give away.
Oh
this
God,
rules.
that's pre-bear.
No.
That's pre-fight bear.
That's after the fallout,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of same thing, talking about the communities, talking about the players. This patch, we're doing a little something special and kind of recognizing another one of our regions. And so we've got some special stuff in here for our friends in Russia. And with Tyra here, we went kind of with like that old spy movie kind of take on it and kind of theming, which just came out really, really well. So, yeah, great skin coming
like
across.
cape.
You can see the emblem on the back. Good work.
Very exciting stuff. Let's take a listen to the voice pack of Red Winter Tyra.
Orders received. The target will be dealt with. You can either tell me everything in bed, or spill your guts on the floor. While we're here, could you get me a drink? Of course, shaken, not stirred. I'm wanted in over 50 countries. For crimes, yes, but mostly for looking so darn good. The first shot won't kill you, not even the second or the third. Not till you crawl over and kiss my boot.
Wow. All right, well.
Kiss my boot? Did that get cut off? Was there more to that, that word? It's just kiss my boot? Okay,
boot.
okay,
Footwear.
cool.
Footwear.
Feet.
Feet, guys. We are a team. Let's listen to one more as well. We've got one more line.
Dos Vidania.
How could you not?
Solid.
Absolutely loving this one. Red Winter Tyra coming through. And boy, oh boy, this kind of kicks something off, Thomas, that's going to be a great look for, you know, what we'll get to certainly in the patch notes further. But we have this, I guess, in-game coming through as well. I mean,
yeah, this is it's a great epic skin. So you heard the voice pack.
Yes.
It is a little bit different. So it is the skin. So you have the accessory with it, and you've got the the character model itself. This one does not come with a weapon. As you mentioned, there's a little something extra coming a little bit later for how you get this skin. But yeah, it's a great skin. It looks great in game.
One question I have for you is, how do you change the shape of the cape? Like how much of the shape of the actual cape can you change, like without fully changing the model?
It depends.
Insane art skills.
You know, as we're talking about it, like through concept and talking about the visual design, we work closely with rigging and animation to make sure that the skins will work well. And then as far as with gameplay, make sure that the read is good for the character. But there's a lot of flexibility we can do. We got a lot of great artists on it, and a lot of work goes into making sure that we can kind of push those boundaries where we can.
Well, of course, this is just a prelude to some of the other things. Obviously, a big centerpiece is this skin, but there's also more celebration for your worldwide international Paladins players here and everyone in the realm to enjoy. We have a worldwide chest being introduced, and we're going to take a look at some of the weapons here in-game. They're going to be featured for a lot of different champions throughout this chest that people can grab.
Let's do it.
First up is Yang here, so she's got a new mirror. That's the accessory she's getting.
Yeah, and this one also, so this one also is, again toward our Russian region and our players there. You can see the the gold double eagle.
It's powerful.
Love it. I see Buck. Ooh, Buck getting some love.
Oh yeah, this thing looks so good.
That is dope.
So, oh baby.
Yeah.
That works with a lot of skins too.
Of my personal space.
Look at that gold.
Buck very direct with
Stick that with the macho skin.
His new buff, the lower ammo.
Good call. Good call. That
Yeah.
How many kind of calls I make?
Yeah, this one's really
Wait, what are
nice.
those projectiles? They look like cannonballs or something.
If we can get the weapon inspect on this one as well. There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, sweet.
Check out the red star and stuff. The colorations and stuff just work really, really well with a lot of our champions. So
beautiful. That's
sure
Evie.
does.
We see McCullough getting some love here as well.
Coming in from the deep. Oh, the cannonballs are
Cannonballs are red. Wow.
Nice stuff there for your favorite turtle. He's going to grab that one. A lot of weapons, a lot of love to a lot of different champions. So it's kind of everyone's going to get hit usually here with one of these. So this is great. I know that was one of the best parts about the Brazil one, that we just had so many variants of different champions getting to represent that.
And actually, so like you said, this is a worldwide chest. So we want to kind of expand it. Obviously, we're adding Russia as far as a new region, but the weapons that you saw in the Brazil chest, the weapons that you saw with the Freedom chest this past summer as well, are also included in this. So you get kind of another chance to kind of go back and get those Brazilian weapons and get those Russian weapons and then get the U.S. weapons.
Speaking of America.
Oh yeah, we got some more stuff.
We've got another thing from America, Nick.
Hell
you're
yeah.
wearing the America.
Can I get a
tank top.
hell yeah in the chat, brother?
Hell yeah, brother.
Me a little brother man, Bill. Okay, Kona.
We got a big boy here. His name is Fernando, and he's bringing not a flame lance, but this time a shield that's America based.
Disappears when you emote.
Damsel in distress.
Yeah, so you can check it out there. Nice Freedom shield.
But it's a shield.
It is. It is. We'll talk about that later.
I was gonna say.
Oh! I didn't even see.
Can we do that again?
America.
Yeah.
Can't.
Special shout outs.
Yeah.
Special shout outs to Justin and the VFX team. We got some fireworks on this, and it looks great.
Wow. Now I'm going to actually maybe have to use my shield as Fernando. I'm just going around fireballing people in most of my games. So
Happy July
be
already.
the first time I'll actually use this thing. For you Aegis fans out there, you're getting some value.
How do you equip it, though?
How do you equip it?
Yeah.
It's a secret.
Oh, my
I have to
goodness.
Cheat codes.
There we go. So,
Cheat codes XD.
So just kind of showing this. This is the chest. You can see you've got the 4 new Russian weapons. You've also got the 4 Brazilian weapons. You've got the 4 U.S. weapons. You've got that brand new shield that we just saw for Fernando, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about. And then Androxus is getting this amazing hat.
It's really
to
cool.
represent the Brazilian region. And then Victor, of course, is getting kind of his own Russian hat with this. So you got 3 ACCs. You got 12 weapons. And you also have that Tyra skin.
It's incredible.
So it's all in there.
And you had mentioned this when we were talking about this show, but the Androxus hat looks fantastic with the steampunk skin. So if
it's amazing.
If you don't grab the steampunk skin with this Androxus hat, you are going to be missing out on some huge style points heading into OB62.
And those are important.
They are. Nick, you know.
Points count.
Style, hey,
They matter.
Hey, you got to look good to play good, baby.
If you
That's
can play
true.
the game
That's true.
and you're not on
not
point,
looking on-
people are like,
You ain't clean.
It's like a clip of you goes viral, but you're like, you ain't got a good haircut or
Sweatpants.
something.
I did my
hair that
Yeah. Everyone knows you as that guy who just has bad hair. You know, that would be
it's unfortunate.
not good, guys. Moving on, we got to keep a good big pace because there's so much happening here in this patch. And I know you guys know a few some things coming through, so we'll get to that in a moment. Be patient with us. We have a very cool thing happening. If you're a fan of the caster, if you know anything about the caster, it's a show where Nick and I have actually.
we didn't talk about the Fernando thing.
Oh yeah, okay. You were saving that for.
Well, I was waiting. I was waiting. I was
Okay.
waiting for the host.
You just kept
to
not
call
wanting
out.
to. Okay, I got you.
No,
I got you.
We promised that we would tell them how they could equip it.
Okay,
we
so
gotta do
how
that.
can you equip it?
We told them
All
cheat
right.
codes.
So in the past, we've done some changes before with our ACCs, and so we've had Torvald, for instance. We changed it from the little spectacles to the big backpack, and so as we've been looking at our different champions and kind of moving through our skins and kind of getting a lot of our champions kind of onto the same best practices that we have with some of our newer champions, we kind of took a look at Fernando, and in the past he's had that helmet and stuff, and swatching that out, and but when you see him in game, you see that shield, and that shield it's huge. It's a huge part of his kit, and it's kind of key to who he is. And so what we're doing this patch is we are switching his accessory from his helmet to his shield, and what this means is, well, one, we can do awesome shields, one off like what you just saw with the America version there with the fireworks and all of that, but it also means that you can now mix and match and switch in those other shields based on what you want to do for your customization.
That's awesome. Honestly, so many.
Oh, I love the God of War ones.
Yeah,
so.
that's great.
He's fantastic. My
Is that
friends.
that was the first skin pretty much? Was
One of
God
them.
of War
It's
Fernando?
close.
Yeah, it's one of the ones you got
pretty
for, I
close.
think, linking Smite?
It was the
Or-
Founders Pack.
It was a
Yeah.
Founders Pack, okay. So this is going to be new for Fernando. His accessory now changing from his head to his shield. So this is available for players immediately in OB62. Go ahead and get your customization on. Thank you, our team, for giving us even more options to make fun shields and have those a part of our Fernando gameplays and daily experiences with this very, very spicy Spaniard. Moving on, though, guys, we do have a big show, so I want to get going. We have the caster, like I was mentioning prior, going on. It just finished, and there's voting involved right now. You could pick between Latygris or Ron Jarbert if you want to go ahead and say who's going to win. There's $10,000 on the line, so your vote matters. And if you do vote, we're doing a promotion within both of our games, Paladins and Smite. We have other games, but just the 2 games that we're talking about for this one. To actually, if you vote, you actually unlock the announcer packs for the caster contestants that you're voting for free. So all you got to do is vote, and you can get access to Latygris and the Ron Jobert announcer packs
Both of them.
in Paladins.
Yep.
And so let's take a listen to some of those so you can get a taste of what it is. Even if you hadn't seen the caster, these guys are fantastic.
Strap up them boots and ready your weapons. Hey, we got that objective. Rock them stripes and swag it out. If they get another double, I'm dipping. High five for the streak of 5. That's 13 in a row.
All right,
Welcome to Paladins. Build your deck. Put the cards in it, and then save it. Put them all in there. The objective is spawned, so go forth. An enemy is annihilating? What? That's really embarrassing for you. A pentakill? Very cool, dude. You won. Victory. Actually, pretty cool.
That's,
yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Those are really great.
That's pretty neat.
Very cool. I might even use some of those as well. And that's, again, for free. You get both of them if you vote. So make sure to do that. I don't know if we have a link. Vote at thecaster.tv. So at thecaster.tv, go ahead and vote right now. You can get those in OB62 unlocked. Free stuff is always good stuff for me. Now, it's time, guys, for a very big moment. I know a lot of us have been looking for it. Garrett's been a shark lurking in the water, ready to talk about this bad boy. You're right. Your favorite orc, your favorite shaman, he's getting some love in this patch. Finally, what are we thinking? How did we not read Reddit fast enough? It's Grohk getting a new visual rework in OB62. Look at the lightning orc now.
Daddy.
Yeah, so with Grohk this time, a long time coming, it's something we've been putting a lot of effort, a lot of work and time into, he's basically getting a full visual update. And so this involves, again, kind of as I mentioned earlier, as we've been kind of looking back through some of our older champions, making sure that they get up to date with our best practices and some of the tech that we've developed since then for our newer champions. And for him, this was huge. So a huge visual update that you see both across the character, across the weapon, and you can see in that
totem,
image there, the brand new totem.
That is sweet.
And then this also, gives us some performance wins and technically makes him in a much better place to skin. So not only are you getting this brand new base Grohk to kind of go from, but you can expect some skins on the horizon for him.
Ooh.
Grohk hit the gym.
He's way more shredded, I was going to say.
You can just see this man is tall. He's in charge.
He's cultivating mass, and now he's cutting.
He's cutting, man.
Yeah.
And look at that, hitting those traps and those
The
triceps
headdress
really well.
is glorious, too. Look at that. Look at that flow. That's pretty hair approved.
Pretty hair approved. I love it, man. So what went into kind of the stylistic decisions as to Grohk becoming this way with this rework?
Well, part of this is like just bringing him more in line with the rest of the game with the visual, quality bar, obviously. Like you can look at that. Zach did the work on the character and Robbie did the work for the staff, and they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And so the execution obviously is raising that bar. But in addition to that, we wanted to bring him more in line with the rest of the champions, with the realm, with the basically the visual style that we're laying out for the game, and with his lore and his backstory. So he's a little bit more true to that as well.
I believe we have something to show you here as well. So let's take a look at some of that. Some of these skins that you're familiar with for Grohk, but now getting adjusted with his new visual rework, having a little bit of different visual appeal also.
Yeah, so the skins that were there before, like you can see with this one, is still there. It is over his new form, so you don't have to worry about going back to kind of potato arms. And they all also got that same visual kind of update. The old weapon we are keeping is coming back, and it's going to be a new weapon that you'll be able to kind of get as far as the kind of old sci-fi kind of element for it. And then,
ooh, that's new.
Spoilers. So,
they cut you off again, Thomas.
I know.
What the heck?
So, but
what the heck?
He's got, so we are doing mastery rewards for Grohk this time. So
that looks great.
He's getting his mastery skins, he's getting MVP, he's getting emote, and the full rewards for all of that. In addition to this, though, his commons are also getting reworked. So they'll still be there. If you owned them before, you own them now. They've just been visually updated.
Beautiful.
For the new model.
Beautiful. I mean, there's so much to look at as well. And if you did mention something ahead of the game now, Thomas, so you might be the one spoiling. He does have a VIP emote coming through. And this one is
no. The mastery emote is what I was talking about.
I think you said.
I didn't say anything like that.
You said VP
Clip
something emote.
Take it to the clip.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the VOD on this one.
I heard a V and a P and then emote. But let's look at it right now.
Let's. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, yes. He's getting lots of love, including his dance. So animation team, he did an amazing job with this one, and Daniel, the animation lead, along with Ben from the Tech Art group, put in some extra work here to make sure that when he's doing that slide, he's getting that full rotation.
He's getting the full rotation. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you just keep this going, right?
Oh, yeah.
He'll just keep rotating.
Just keep going and going and going.
For hours.
Yep.
Throw your healing totem down and then just do this inside of it?
Yeah, similar to our other dances, it is a
No one's gonna be able to
looping.
do anything
It
about
is
it.
a looping emote.
You're
so.
right.
But,
oh, man.
But yes, but he also does have his
That's the
mastery
play, dude.
rewards for his MVP pose and his emote for that.
Ah, okay, got it. There it is. That's a VP. I was hearing MVP.
Oh, MVP.
MVP.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I got. Okay, cool. So yeah, a lot of great stuff coming with Grohk. Obviously, the new visual rework. Touching on that, we'll get into some balance stuff as well. We are in the look at some of the VIP rotation stuff and happening coming through, but we want to take a look at Grohk first, just in what this looks like, the glory inside of Snowfall Junction, and what this orc will bring into those, especially when he just gets in his groove. He's going to start dancing on you.
I want this as a screensaver.
I mean, it would be a very good one.
Infinitely.
This should be an end screen. This should be an end screen for our YouTube videos now, for the Paladins channel.
Yeah. Can we just have a 10-hour looping video of this?
but
Andy, if you're listening.
5,
yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
The point.
So let's start taking a look at some of his abilities, and all these are all translating.
Right.
So is there anything different from this visual rework? Does this apply to any of his abilities, or is it just from the cosmetic appeal that he has?
Yeah, I mean, we did a full pass on it.
Okay.
And you can see some of it is with the new weapon here. There's kind of new effects that go into it. He's got those crystals in there and kind of going to kind of a more magical kind of center. A lot of this, again, is kind of going back to his core. You know, he's a shaman and as kind of the master of that electricity and lightning. We wanted to make sure that that came through not only here, but also in his kit. So we can check out. There we go. I was about to say we got to check out the totem. The totem is just so good.
Oh man, that guy's got character now. Totem have a name?
He's grooving.
We have not named the totem yet.
Now's your chance. Mickey. Grohk and Mickey. That's solid right there. Grohk and Mickey. I like it. Mickey the totem. It's lore. It's canon. It's official. That shock pulse is hurting a little bit. Yeah, that shock pulse hurts a little bit.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of people that have been out there asking for this. A lot of apparent Grohk mains that are out there, and now they can do it in style and look good.
There we go.
Never forget about that.
And with class.
And class. Very class.
Class and grace.
So,
yes. The definition of class.
And the splash art that you saw for that as well, that is now a spray for him as well. So.
Lovely.
Oh my God, so much Grohk love, and we're not even done. We're not even done with the Grohk love here. We're gonna get to more of that as well. But that's Grohk. He's got a new visual rework coming out in OB62. We hope you all enjoy it. It's been a lot of work on that champion. He's been asked for some work from the community, and he's gotten it. So this should be a very nice catharsis moment for everyone involved. Going into the VIP, we do have some new rotations coming through. Code Green Victor will be jumping into the rotation there, and you can get access to all of these different variables of Code Green?
Radio guy.
Just the radio guy.
So,
beautiful.
Second from the left.
All right,
that's the guy.
Second from the left. So that guy standing out from all the... He stood out for me. I like the knife on the...
Yeah, he's good.
There.
He's got a good silhouette.
He's got the best
Pretty
gun
strong.
for sure.
That's nice.
Yeah, great physique. I like his chin structure also.
Yeah. So he'll be the rotation skin this time in the VIP store.
Beautiful. And we also have another big introduction here in terms of a weapon into the VIP store.
Right.
That is Jenos getting, I believe it's called the Shatter Star.
That's correct.
And it is a legendary weapon, the second of its kind in Paladins. And it's basically, you might notice its cousin, maybe distant cousin here, in Androx's Shatter Maw. Seem to be cut from the same stone. I don't know. But man, oh man, this has its own amazing appeal and looks great with Jenos as base.
Yeah, this is our second legendary weapon we're introducing inside this theme. The one with Androxus came out really, really well. We kind of wanted to share that love a little bit, and so coming to Jenos, one of our more popular and kind of fun to kind of kill people with, I guess, supports that's out there, is getting this legendary weapon. Similar to the Androxus one, what that means is you're going to get a new inspect, a new reload, animation treatment, you got full new VFX treatment, and of course you have that death. So, when you take people out, they shatter.
So beautiful. So we are going to eventually be able to take a look at that in game. And again, if you're talking for a support that could use a weapon like this, Jenos, he's right like at the top for me because he gets a lot of last hits.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fragability. Fragability. Strong fragability. On a scale of no fragability to a lot of fragability, where is Jenos?
Who's the least fraggable champ in the game?
Oh, okay, you changing the rules. Okay, who is the least fraggable?
To the most. I'm
the
putting
most.
Andro at the top.
Okay.
It's appropriate, right? Because he's got the Shatter Maw. At the bottom?
Right.
Dang, who would I put at the bottom?
I don't know. That's a tough one
to say.
There's no one at the bottom.
It's tough.
All champions are
exactly.
10s.
It's
They're
tough
all at the top.
The thing is with this though, it's so cool because everyone on the battlefield knows. Wow, that's awesome.
Damn, that's sweet.
So you can see all new animations broken apart. The weapon team did an amazing job. A lot of different effects going into this one.
Wow.
Can we show the inspect again? Sorry. Oh, yeah.
this is really just a great addition to Jenos.
I love that reload.
It fits so well.
Yeah, and that was another thing too, is just for this champion, as magical as he is and everything, like just this theme and how this was treated, it just fits really, really well for him. Fits into his play style, and then as you mentioned, you know, his fragability, you know, it just
don't know where he
straight
is.
in line. So he's up at the top. I'll tell you that right now. At least in my games, when I'm playing him, he's at the top.
Oh, when Thomas is in command of this, that's why you made it, Thomas. You basically, we got a Makoa weapon. We know you're a Makoa main.
Are you accusing me of favoritism toward the champions I play, of wanting to look good in match?
I didn't say that.
Well, I would just say you're all lucky that I play a lot of different champions.
That's true.
So,
Number one high-res flex.
That's very true.
Hey, you have to. You know, you got to support the team. You got to do what the team needs.
Yeah, I heard we were actually looking to make a team of players, and there was a fifth that wasn't. I mean, I wasn't on the roster yet. Apparently, you know, I wasn't included in that top 4. But you know, I think with the flex roll, Thomas. But
as a Masters
player, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Thomas can, you know, take my spot for now. He's a much better addition to the team.
No, I'll commentate.
Oh, okay.
No.
That
put him
fun.
on the team.
Please
put him on the team. You don't want that.
That could be fun.
Oh man, Nick and I have been waiting to use that line for so long. Okay, so that was fantastic. We saw a little bit of Jenos, and we've also got a couple of additions coming through customization wise. This is in terms of grabbing some chests. So if you're looking for some legendaries and trying to get the chest, there is an enchanted key kind of opportunity that we have. Now you're going to be able to have a select legendary role key based on your front line, your support, your flank, your damage, which type of legendary you're going to want to unlock when you enchant that. Use those crystals to get that specific kind of item back to you. So
heck yeah.
Elaborate more on that and the decision to put that in there, guys.
Oh my goodness.
You were zoning out.
I zoned out.
Garrett's zoned out. So Garrett's just preparing for that.
It's awesome.
So you basically the addition for the legendary role keys to come through and why that was decided upon as being a good addition for guys.
It's something that obviously kind of exploring all of the chests and getting the one thing you might want from it is always it's always a risk, right? You're like, oh man, I'm a main of these characters, or maybe play a particular role. So now we've given you the opportunity to be like, okay, if I identify as a frontline player, I play a lot of Makoa or Ashe, or damage, right? Then I can be like, let's guarantee a legendary for just this role set. It's a little bit more value, and we feel that it kind of just allows you to craft your play style more the way you prefer versus like,
dang it, acrobatics pip. That's not really what I was after.
Yeah.
So. But if you get acrobatics pip, I encourage you to try pip. Give him a go. See how you might enjoy him.
You should play it and see how that goes. So
Pip might also be getting some changes in this patch. So.
Ooh, we'll have to see about that.
Yep.
We're almost at that position to talk about that, and that's going to be pretty lengthy as well. But the last thing, Thomas, I did notice this as well in Dev earlier that we're going to see some new portraits.
We are.
For champions.
We did a full pass. So,
it's amazing.
Every champion kind of got touched. You can see it on the screen there. Nick and his 2D team did an amazing job. So we kind of went back and over the time our UI has shifted a little bit and different things. So kind of unified them, kind of brought them all into kind of the same space, and then touched up some of the portraits that we felt kind of needed a little bit more love. So all your champions looking good, and you know.
Beautiful.
Especially Cassie. That's probably my favorite one.
They look so.
She got a nice jawline.
I like a lot of them.
Wow, Nick. Now we know what you're into. Huh?
I mean, Zin looks real good.
I actually like Eevee. Eevee stands out to me.
Good. Eevee
Where
looks
have I
real
seen
good.
that before? I know I've seen that Eevee portrait.
It got leaked on the internet. I was very, very upset.
The internet.
Yeah, the internet got it. But it's fine. It's in the game now, and it's even better.
Zen's looks pretty cool as well.
Yeah, the portraits, like, I mean, it's the same thing as we talk about, like with skins or with emotes or that kind of stuff. Any opportunity we have to kind of like enrich, the characters a little bit, show off a little bit of that personality, a little bit of that tone, and the portraits were a good place for that, right? And so that was one of the things we had in mind as we kind of went back through, is we wanted to make sure for some of them that we could kind of push that a little bit further, and you get a little bit more insight into who the champions are and their personality, their character.
All right, well, that is going to be it for the customizable options and some of the cosmetics coming through in OB62. We have a very lengthy segment of balance and adjustments that we are going to get to. Nick and I will be running through those with you. I want to first start off with some general bug fixes and let everybody know what's happening.
Do it.
We have fixed the third-person view no longer functioning after spending over 3 minutes in the shooting range. So that's a general improvement if you're spending a lot of time in there. I know I certainly do. We've also fixed the rarity glow missing from items gotten out of Radiant Chest. We fixed the rarity announcer callout for rare and above in Radiant Chest. We've fixed bots not using their ultimate voice lines. And we've addressed an issue where players have no health bar and does not show up on the scoreboard. And also, we want you to let us know if the Paladins bug thread, in that Paladins bug thread, if that issue persists, because we have people looking at that specifically. Now, moving away from that, guys, we were heading into the balance, and this is very important, Nick. I did want to just catch up just a specific layer and let you talk about the minutia, but there's a general kind of adjustment to some vertical mobility coming through in this patch as well. I know that can sometimes scare people, but really, I think it's just an overall tuning. Again, some champions got touched, some other champions were ignored. This is a continuation of that tuning overall for the roster. And then looking at making different legendary options more viable by decreasing standouts and increasing standouts, but that were standouts in negative ways and just never picked. So that's kind of an overarching look at what's going to be happening here. So let's get with it. General, we addressed an issue where players have no health bar. We talked about that. But most importantly, we see a difference to stealth. There's a new soft reveal effect that's going to be improved for visual clarity, so stealth people will be a little easier to see. And Illuminate, seeing its range increase from 15 to 20.
Yep, so this is not only one of the cheapest items, but even when soft revealed, sometimes they didn't exactly jump out at you. Shaolin, Strix's,
hard to see,
that sort of thing. So now the effect is a little bit more opaque and a little bit more eye-catching.
All right, well, let's move on to the champions here. There's a lot to talk about. Androxus, he is seeing a reduction in range on his nether step from 35 to 25. Still has the 3 dashes, but just going to be going 75 overall units instead of the 105.
Yep, this goes along with that blanket change that you were mentioning. Moments of frustration, hypermobility, and still finding that happy medium.
Right. So moving on to Ashe, we're seeing a legendary card adjustment for her, which is very important. Battering Ram, it's no longer going to grant CC immunity. You'll still get the 90% damage reduction, but no CC immunity on that one. Rally here will also be changed. This legendary used to apply a 20% damage amp to enemies nearby, to teammates nearby, and basically stun enemies for 2 seconds after you landed on them. Now, it will cause affected enemies who are hit by that stun, still stunned for 2 seconds, but they will receive 30% more damage. So this is now putting the onus on the enemy stun being the receivers of more damage rather than the teammates nearby you shooting more.
So a couple of things with the battering ram, especially. This goes along with what you were saying about just the auto picks, almost the super catch-all good ones. Super safe battering ram has been one of those. The only real counterplay to battering ram was to body block it, and in the event that you do try to counterplay it, someone has to take 800 damage, which doesn't feel great. So now there are options. You know, few and far between on-demand CCs as they may be, there is another route for you to go. In terms of rally here, that was just kind of confusing, convoluted, hard to tell who was getting the bonus damage. Who can we shoot now? It's whoever Ashe plants that flag on, whoever she stuns, shoot them.
And what's also cool is that not only is it just the same thing, more clear, but it's more bonus damage. So it's even more effective. So you're going to you're basically going to do more damage to them, charge your ult faster again, which is also a part of that. So it's some interesting choices there. Barrack is seeing an adjustment to his legendary card, Architectonics. A lot of people had conversations about this not performing the way they were used to. And so there was actually a bug that was causing Architectonics projectiles to travel more slowly than intended. That will be reverted and changed so that should be firing at the intended rate, still providing you with that bonus damage.
Bug fix.
Bug fix.
Yay.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense for people who are like, but my Architectonics is gone. So it should be back for you Barrack players. Bomb King.
Play Tinker.
Bomb King, he's seeing a legendary card adjustment. No nerfs on his end, but a buff to demolition in a really big way. 30% increased blast radius of Grumpy Bomb by 30%. That's huge. And honestly, this is a card I've been in the corner of for a long time.
It's for what it does, right? There's a lot of opportunity costs associated with all of Bomb King's legendaries, especially, looking at all that damage from chain reaction or just the sheer utility and ease of use for the accelerant. Actually, demolition, you don't get the damage, you don't get the increased speed of the explosion, but making it bigger allows it to do its job a little bit more. And like you said, can be a very impactful legendary when used appropriately.
I mean, at the right time, you can take away a dome shield. That's 20,000 shielding, but I think the cool part is it stuns through shield, so you have to play differently around it. You know what I mean?
Even if think about if the record changes from PTS eventually go live, then I think this will be a much more viable legendary.
All right. Well, we'll see. Buck also get a couple of changes. Deep Breath, a card of his that I was using in some of my decks, was actually mitigating damage from Dragon Punch, which should not happen. So that's changing.
Buck doesn't need that.
He doesn't need that. And then we're seeing Bounce House, a bug where Buck's Bounce House would not be mitigated by crowd control reduction. So that is now going to be, I suppose, mitigated by Brazilians at this point.
It's the fix of, ice blocking Eevees, ulting Ruckuses, that sort of thing going off the mat.
I was going to say, like, Eevee can jump and ice block.
That's what I said that to me, and I was like,
no, she can't. And I was like, I swear it happened.
She just did. Hopping ice cube on my screen.
That's right. I know. Jumping ice cubes, dude. That's $1 million industry right there. Cassie, this is a big change coming through. We're seeing Impulse increase from 300 to 350 or Blast Shot Legendary. So that's some serious bonus damage adding to the table. We're also seeing Big Game, another Legendary, increase from 5% after you hit them with a disengage for your next shots over 5 seconds to 10% of their maximum health over your next shots over 5 seconds, which is a lot. Alert, my friend. I mean, Leviathan Makoa running at like 6,300, 10% of that bad boy.
Later.
Every shot, 630 added on. Oh, woo! And then Incitement is seeing the card, not the legendary exaction. The card Incitement is going from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2 seconds. So, Nick, talk to us about this change.
So a lot of these changes, Cassie, along with Ash, is kind of one of those characters with the one trick legendary, more or less. I think Incitement has something like a 98% use rate, exaction, all that stuff. It goes so hand in hand, and Incitement allows you to leverage that exaction legendary so often in Cassie's kit.
Right.
That it almost forces that one to be the best one, whether or not you think it is the best one. It almost forces that type of gameplay, but that is very core to Cassie's gameplay. It has been for basically her whole existence. And these little bumps and the other two legendaries, while they were honestly still good, I think it'll be more incentive for people to try those things and maybe move things away from the Incitement, as well as this goes along with the gross instances of mobility. Cassie could clear a lot of distance in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone has had the experience of a Cassie just shooting you, killing you, and then going from one side of the map in between a team fight. That's what made her a lot of fun, but also it was almost impossible to counter that. And now she will have to invest hiring to Kronos to get that same type of maneuverability, or just have a little bit more moments of vulnerability, I think, when running that exaction.
They weren't, I mean, I feel for those people, but they weren't here when she was damage immune for the role. So if you lived through that time, you can live through anything.
You can live through anything. That's true. That was a very special time as well. So Drogos, let's talk about him. He's getting some changes. There was an issue with the DZ03 Draco skin where fire VFX would appear over target screen, so that's been fixed. They also fixed the missing woohoo from that skin as well, so that'll be available. And I remember somebody said, this skin has no woohoo. I was like, wait, no. And then I woohooed, and I didn't know what they were talking about. But Thrust is seeing a change in its vertical distance that it will thrust you up. That is being reduced by 30%, so you will no longer be thrusted up as high into the sky when you use that F of Drogos. The card Thrill of the Hunt will also be reduced from 25, 50, 75, 100 to 15, 30, 45, 60% at max rank.
It's going along with, Thrust. When you get up and over someone's head, they can kind of lose you, and it can be kind of a frustrating experience to try and swat him out of the sky. So maybe a little bit easier to keep track of. And thrusting, if you thrusted, got a killing blow, and thrusted again, you were just Willow for a little while. And, those instances kind of wonky.
Yeah, so Drogos will just still be able to get up and up higher than most champions, pretty much every champion, but just less egregious from...
I think this will force people into looking at other... Drogos has a lot of, good cards that I think are kind of overlooked. I think there's one that's like a Masterful, but for thrust, I think is how it works. Hitting fire spits is like it will take cooldown off of thrust.
Wow.
So there are ways, my friends, to work away. There are things that have gone overlooked.
Do not be disappointed. All right, moving on. Eevee, she's going to see a flight speed reduction to soar by 10%. And the Ice Storm ult will be fixing a casting issue where Ice Storm would be placed in the direction Eevee was previously facing. That was a little bit of a bug, but talk about the soar adjustment.
My Over the Moon brothers, we will rise again. But there is a card to actually cancel this out. So you gotta be able to, give and take a little bit here. You can't. I think I've seen a lot of players run it without the Swift Witch card, which is actually soar speed.
Right.
I run it with a little bit of that, so I think you can kind of cancel it out, get to the spots you were before with just a little bit more investment in certain loadout cards.
Heck yeah, brother. All right, Fernando. Brother. Fernando seeing a small adjustment to the card Last Stand. This was just healing at a very high threshold, bringing him back up to 60% health. That's going to be dropped to 50%. This was a buff before Fernando got a lot of his major buffs that went into his kit. And now just looking at the way that card's been performing, dropping that back down to maybe normalize some of that. I don't know if there's much to talk about on that one. Nope. All right, let's move on to the big smork himself, Grohk. Yeah. Come. He's getting a new change. A lot of buffs coming through. Lightning Staff is going to be seeing an ammo capacity increased by 25. So going from 75 to 100, which is a huge amount of firing you'll be able to continue doing. The damage from Shock Pulse is also being increased from 125 to 150. However, it will no longer slow, but you'll get that extra damage, which is going to add to a lot of DPS over the time. He's also seeing, and this is a big one, his totem base health increased from 900 to 1,500. And then Monolith Totem, this card is going from giving him an extra 100, 200, 300, 400 health to 250, 500, 750, 1,000 health on the totem, totaling at a potential 2,500 health you can have. Oh, yeah. For that healing totem, what we like to call Mickey. Yeah. Yikes. So anyone who complained about that being destroyed too easily will have to never complain about that again.
Bulldozer, 200 credits. You're going to need it.
Yeah, you're going to need it, pal, because this really, I mean, so what is this about, Nick? And
we're going to hit him with the thickness. I mean, before the 900 HP totem, you could supplement it to, I guess, 1,300, about the strength of a barrack turret. But that was Grohk has so many good loadout cards that it was hard to pick that up to go into Monolith Totem 4. Right. Meaning that more often than not, that totem's very squishy, dies very easy. It's a 15-second cooldown, the core to all of his healing. Right. There are ways to kind of bring it down, but I think this being more consistent healing option will bring Grohk into viability. I think this will bring Totemic Ward into more viability, and I think the weapon changes will help Maelstrom keep up.
I think Grohk is back personally with this change right here. I also see Maelstrom. I was running a build earlier with Conduit, and it's so insane. But the thing is, with his healing being local, you know, and you having to basically be there at the moment where the healing needs to happen, otherwise it doesn't affect like a Jenos or a Maldamba. He needs that movement speed to reposition, and I also think this is going to be helpful for when he does take the investment to put it down, for it to remain and people to know it's a something you can count on and not be immediately destroyed. So this is going to help Grohk. Chet, definitely play him out. New visual rework, bunch of buffs. Grohk is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's ready to play. Oh my God, Jenos coming through. We've got a through time and space reduction. This is one you've been asking for a long time, Nick. The pre-fire reduced from 1.5 to 1.2 seconds. Spicy stuff.
I'm about it because Jenos, even at the professional levels of play, weren't landing these very consistently. Not to say the players weren't good or misplaying them, but like you had time to walk like from one end of the effect to the other basically with 1.5 seconds, and you would almost need some type of setup to actually make this a viable part of Genos' kit.
Right, and so now he's
consistent. I think is a better word.
Yeah, and so now he's going to be probably able to set it up more on his own, and also with seismic crash or with other things like CC that can stun groups of enemies like a King Bomb. It's going to be that much more confirmable, I think, to instinctively just see what's happening and use it. You don't have to have the Matrix vision into the future. Sight. Yeah, the Vex sight right there. That's good. He should coin that Vex.
He is primary, you know.
Kanessa, she's seeing an actual increase to her sniper rifle, the standard weapon. I believe it is the unscoped weapon. Yeah. So this is the carbine technically. Yeah. So the minimum accuracy is being increased from 85 to 90%, and the accuracy loss per shot decreased from 4% to 2%. So nice buff there.
This thing already kind of frags.
It does.
I think this just helps her keep up with Strix, who has a pretty nasty sidearm himself.
When you put the Oppressor Mine out, I think Kret was saying that it already had 1,300 DPS. So it's a lot of damage out there. So make sure you try that one out as well if you get in a sticky situation with Kanessa. Lex, he's going to be seeing some adjustments, some variabilities to some of his legendary cards. Death Hastens was giving bonus damage that was more than Discovery, and it was much more applicable. So that's being reduced to 30% to 25% bonus damage. And now Discovery is seeing a bonus damage increase from 20 to 30%, being the more niche choice, but albeit now the more powerful choice when it does work in your favor.
Exactly. Hard to leverage, so it needs to have a bigger payoff.
Cool. So Lex getting those changes in the realm. He's been on the forefront of really being played at high level, but I think this is going to help him a lot, too.
Stop sleeping on heroism, y'all.
People sleeping, man.
I think it's good.
This is my demo. Your heroism is my demolition. Yeah, for sure.
I think so, yeah.
Makoa is now seeing some interesting changes. He's going to have a base health reduction from 4,800 to 4,500, taking him down 300. but his legendary card, Pluck, is going to see a bonus reduction as well from 80 to 70%, while allowing Leviathan to actually get boosted up from 1,500 to 1,800, meaning that if you play Leviathan, you will have the exact same health as you did before.
Same zone. It's a tank. He's kind of about the burst. He's about the big damage, so a little bit less health to compensate for that, so less kind of bully tactics. Unless you go Leviathan and you give up that burst damage.
And do you think this is really, like, going to change that much, the 80 to 70? I don't feel like that's... This is like the Worm Jets going from 60 to 40. It was just like, it's still...
I think Vox put it best. He's a hook with a turtle attached.
He's a hook with a turtle attached. I think this is going to...
That's a good way to put it.
He's going to still be fine. Pip. This is interesting, and for those who play Pip or haven't looked at playing Pip, this is going to offer a lot more flexibility. You can now use all of Pip's abilities during weightless.
Yep, healing, all that good stuff. Explosive flasks.
Wow.
And even Mojo.
Wow. Ooh. That'll be interesting, dude. Some highlight plays there up in the air.
Cuss and his off-meta healers are coming. They're coming for you.
Grohk and Pip, don't sleep on them, ladies and gentlemen.
Direct G2 buffs.
Absolutely. Ruckus, this is all conspiracy for Hi-Rez to help G2 esports win. Unbelievable. Okay, Ruckus, he's getting some legendary cards.
Ooh, SK nerfs.
SK and now an SK nerf. Oh, God. The aerial assault of Ruckus is actually the distance of advances being reduced vertically from 30 to 20. So he's still able to go up, just not
just
up
a biting nerf.
This is basically the Drogos nerf. This is 30% reduction. This is basically the exact same thing.
Same reasoning.
Now, this is fun. Saris, this is a good one. Restore Soul will now have a base range of 100 instead of 70. So that's a big deal. Going to open some things up away from Mortal Reach. Agony now, the stun duration will increase from 1 second to 1.5. Which is nearly a seismic crash in Aura. It's only a half second off. Soul Collector will now also increase not only your health by 2% per stack, but your weapon damage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is going to be pretty crazy stuff. I mean, Saris is another one of those sort of one legendary characters in a sense, where there is not a lot of room for the other ones, where the flat buff to Restore Soul is going to help make Mortal Reach not as important. And then obviously adding a little bit more to her other two legendaries help open up some more choices for you, Saris players.
Let's put this way, Nick. You know, we talked about the Saris convergence to the Wombo combo through time and space. Saris and Agony is a 1.5 second stun. Jenos now has a 1.2 second ult. That's pretty dangerous. Setting up a few kills off of just that. Woo!
Oh, baby.
All right, Shaolin. We've got a couple cards being adjusted. Run Like the Wind will be moving from 10 to 40% movement speed down to 7 to 28% movement speed. And his Desert Shadow Legendary will have a stealth time reduction. So from 3 seconds to 2 seconds for Shaolin when he takes that Legendary.
Yeah, pretty crazy movement speed. And a lot of loadout cards, I feel, were, the values are for a time when there was you could only benefit from that card.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say here. And now that you can benefit from multiple, I think we'll kind of go through sweep, probably look at some other ones that can get pretty insane and maybe tone them back with the now in mind that you can have multiple.
Absolutely. We're seeing some people come join us again. I wonder if we'll see some transformations. Thomas has always been good at that. Nick was good at that too. The whole art department can transform into Alyssa somehow. We'll see if they can do it again. Terminus. This guy has been wrecking the realm.
He's been terminating
Terminus.
noobs and
terminating noobs. So he's getting some downward adjustments to bring him into line with everyone else. He's done very well for himself. Let's put it that way. His base health. Well, first, actually, Terminus's ultimate meter will not be shown to other players, which is important. You will not know
to me yesterday
when he's able to ult, which is
like, what?
Yeah, part of the surprise factor.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's also going to see a base health reduction from 4,900 to 4,500, so 400 off. The range increased of his Massacre Axe, though, will be 25% more than it was, so you'll be able to hit more of your basic attacks easier. The Power Siphon Shield will have a recharge rate reduced by 25%. And you will also see the Strength of Stone card. Well, there's a fixed screen shake from occurring on other players' screens that reanimate, but that's not that important here. The Strength of Stone card, though, the damage reduction per stack will be reduced from 1.5 to ultimately 6% per stack to now 1 to 4% per stack.
He's a big old rock dude with a lot of health, a lot of damage reduction, and the best uncounterable shield really in the game. So finding that sweet spot for him in a lot of ways and keeping him out of a super frustrating space.
Yeah. Okay. So Willow, she's going to be seeing an adjustment to her flutter. The distance will be reduced by 10%. And Fae Flight will also have a flight speed reduction by 25%.
This goes in the bucket with a lot of the other vertical mobility changes. Fae Flight probably being the highest and one of those most gross mobility options for Willow.
The highest and the skyest. Man.
Yeah, the highest, the tip of the sky box.
So she's going to be moving a little slower, a little bit more counterable when she does go into the air. Ying We'll have a dimensional link post-fire increased from 0.1 second to 0.5 seconds, which is really just the ability it takes to... like a slot machine.
To put it technically.
And you have to win. You just shoot at one of them, and then you're just like, I hope I get lucky today.
Yeah.
Boom. You know,
sit
it's
there
like,
with your McCoy hook. Hold.
ding, 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 ding.
And then you get the clone, and you're just like, okay.
All right. So, honestly, I think this will be for more readability for other players playing against her, but I think this will also make it for newer players coming in for Willow. I don't think this is the intention of the change, but I'm just looking at it from my own point of view. Just a little bit more easy to understand. I think the fact that you could just do it so quickly.
What the hell is going on with Ying's doing that?
It's
especially when she's running the Shatter Legendary.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? Okay.
and you have to make more like purposeful decisions with this rather than the spam, which I don't think any game where any ability where you just do this and spam and you like kind of get better.
The clones are just.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a good change as well. Zen. This is the last one, guys. I told you this was huge. Zen is seeing a increase to his projectile speed from 240 to 300 for the first 2 hits of his flame sword, his Inferno Blade. Billow is also seeing a cooldown increase from 12 to 15 seconds, so just 3 seconds extra off of that Q ability. And Guillotine, that legendary that allows his ultimate to charge faster and does basically all your target's damage, will now grant damage immunity to Zen while he's using it.
Yeah, there's a big kind of risk inherently to using Spite, and if you pick up the legendary for it now, you kind of get rid of that risk, as well as sort of with Ash's legendary card Rally here. You just charge it faster, you get to use that ultimate, hits a little bit harder. The Billow change, it's a really, really strong ability for what it does, combined with the fact that it has a loadout card to reduce his cooldown on it when he gets a kill, combined with the fact that Kronos is pretty much meta on Zen, resulted in Billow being up a whole lot.
All the time. Pretty much an unkillable dude when he built the right way.
And the projectile speed, I mean, with everyone running around as fast as they are nowadays, everyone could use a little help.
So that's going to be the changes for balance here in OB62. And now we will be joined with some more people here. We'll have, of course, High Res Martini. And oh my God! High Res Alyssa! I can't believe this happened. Again, you never cease to amaze me.
It's incredible.
Are you in
This
cahoots?
is just Thomas in a Halloween costume.
Is it really?
It's the Alyssa
I'm
Halloween
in a skin
costume.
suit.
Oh my God.
Zippers in the back.
That's like a futuristic
Buffalo Bill style?
Seriously.
Okay. That's it for me today, guys.
A little too, Halloween oriented here. How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm doing good. Lots to talk about.
Let's talk about it
Yeah.
then.
So, if you
Community
guys...
Skin Project, right?
Yeah. Man, I was going to lead up to it.
Sorry, I wanted to kind of preface you for it.
Come on.
All right, so we're doing the Community Skin Project again. We did one back in May. We had a huge turnout, 60,000 votes. And of course, Infernal Ceres was the skin that we made together. So we want to do it again. It was a ton of fun. So you can go on paladins.com right now and vote for the champion that you want to receive a skin. So that voting is going to last a week. Next Friday, we'll turn it off. And then we're going to create 4 themes for that champion. You'll be able to pick from the 4 themes which skin you like the best, and we're going to reveal the final concept art at High Res Expo in January.
You know what? Team Grohk.
Team Grohk?
I'm starting Team Grohk right now. Right here,
Hey,
right
let's not
now.
influence
How
the
dare you
votes
use your
with our
position at High Res to influence votes of something
How dare
related
you.
to a High Res skin?
Fixing an election.
As a member of the community and the company.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I started as a high-res community member with my own opinions, and I still have them.
No.
Team
you
Grohk.
Don't. You don't. Team Grohk.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know who I want to win. But, of course, we do have a new segment that's an old segment, but we haven't done it for a while. We're kind of getting back into the rhythm. Community questions.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I've got a bunch of community questions here on Garrett's phone.
Ooh.
So first question, what is your balancing process? Is it like the community is screaming at us, let's check it out, or do you have a balanced checklist? Asked by Schnebs67.
Thank you for asking, Schnebs. So the balancing process is pretty robust. Obviously, community feedback, as you mentioned, is part of it. And oftentimes, direct feedback from the community over certain things being too strong, oftentimes they're either are supported by data and fact or are not, and then kind of more of an issue of perception, which then it's our job to figure out why these things are like that. But the process is kind of multifaceted. So generally some pillars that it stands on are, yes, community perception and feedback, also statistical facts, relevance, depending on many factors, efficacy of champions or abilities, cards, legendaries, all within different populations. We have millions and millions of players that play millions and millions of games. So there's a lot of factors. But data, stats, community perception, and then obviously internal thoughts, and then just overarching design goals. So those are kind of what we base them on.
Cool. All right, next question. What is the easiest or hardest champion you've worked on so far? Asked by Kung Fu Lord.
That's a very fair question. If difficulty, maybe from a technical standpoint, I would say any time you try and do something kind of out of the bounds of like what's already existing in the game. For instance, like Terminus's ult, right? We don't have any after death mechanics yet. That would be a good example of something that's difficult to do. But I feel like the team kind of really pulled together and made this really awesome cinematic, powerful moment. That's pretty sweet. So that's a great example.
Can you please ask Martini to explain how Inara is better off with diminishing returns than without it? I just don't see how getting less than 70% plus damage reduction with the addition of diminishing returns actually benefits Inara. Asked by Versheen.
So the reason, and we talked about this on the patch notes when we introduced it. I think your misunderstanding is coming from the fact that you think past a certain threshold, in this case 30%, that everything diminishes afterwards. Why it's better is because before, everything was being reduced, or you weren't getting any effects that weren't greater than the initial like 50 or 70%. So now you get that big chunk, right? And then everything stacks on top of it to where you can reach heights that you wouldn't have before. So she's very strong right now. She's very hard to kill. Instead of just getting like 50% and you receive another 20% bonus in the past, this bonus wasn't applying to you, period. Now you get it at a reduced rate, so you are in fact stronger.
Why do you nerf champions that don't need to be nerfed and buff champions that don't need to be buffed? Barrack didn't need to be Barrack didn't need to be nerfed. Yeah, he was.
He didn't need to be birthed either. Also. I can agree.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Makoa needs to be nerfed, and he's remained untouched for the longest time. Asked by Tetsi0.
Tetsi, it's a very good question. So oftentimes, individual players' perceptions of the efficacy of each champion is just that. It is their own. If I play a bunch of games with Makoa and I do extremely well, or I see, for instance, the professionals, they're only picking Makoa, and I tracked it, I did tallies, and they're winning. They're winning with Makoa. This character is clearly unbalanced and is the best pick. I shouldn't pick any other tanks. When in fact, oftentimes that may be the case for those individual teams and players, but those trends and win percentages, or they're not real for the rest of the players. Makoa, as an example, is a great one. In fact, in this patch, we are touching him. You saw his health go down, but the measure of his efficacy is actually extremely scalable with coordination, which is something that's displayed a lot of the times in those professional matches. So yes, he's first pick or he's first banned. However, the majority of your player base, and this isn't like the majority of unskilled players or new players, this is the vast majority of your player base all the way through Masters. He is not in an offensive spot compared to other tanks. There are other characters that are far more performant than he is, that for whatever reason don't have the perception that, oh god, this character is broken. So this is one of the factors that we take into consideration when we're balancing them, is that yes, there is this community perception. For instance, yours right there, which was, why haven't you touched this character? He's picked in every pro match. There's something wrong. And it's like, well, in 99.999% of the games that are played, he actually loses more than he wins. Things like this. So there are many factors, and we have to weigh and balance each one. But it's a very good question, and something that I've experienced frustration over in games that I've played in the past. So totally warranted.
All right. Is there a cap on the number of champions planned for the realm? Asked by Roarly.
No way. No way. Unlimited. Millions.
When are we finally going to get that spicy Paladins lore? Asked by
Spicy.
Not Jacob DeGrom.
It'll be soon, guys. Hang around. We've been working on it for a really long time, and I can't wait to tell you. And even with some of our latest champions, we've kind of integrated it a little bit more than the past ones. So I would just hang around, maybe just pay attention.
Soon TM.
I see that the unused credits voice lines were used recently. What brought about those changes? Since on Wiki it says that the voice lines were unused.